Hello and welcome to what I guess is my first ever video with my voice in it on YouTube. Today I'm joined here with a good friend of mine who was so good as to lend him his audio recording equipment.
That's the primary reason I'm here, folks. Hi, I'm Tyan, by the way.
Hi. So my name is Eric, and this is a voiceover for a pre-recorded video I did of my Pokémon Red Top 10 Challenge run, which I kind of will explain after this. First things first. Sorry for my horrendous English accent and for the lack of grammatically sound sentences.
This is a Dutch English accent, folks. You know, in other languages it's charming, like a Spanish English accent. Dutch English accent just isn't. Deal with it.
Yeah, I guess. I heard some people actually say that a Dutch accent is sexy, but I guess there's also sane people in the world.
Yeah.
Compensate for that.
They were probably not one of them.
Okay.
So
Well, anyway, this is a speed run that I came up with. It's completely arbitrary. It is a glitched speed run, and I really like one of the glitches I kind of showcase in this. So this is for the Pokémon Red game from back in the 90s. I guess I kind of grew up with. You haven't actually played this ever, but you have seen it before, right?
I've never had it. No, I've never seen this before, this footage before, and I never actually played the game because I never used to own a Game Boy. I still don't own a Game Boy.
Right,
but
you have seen the game before, right?
I've seen the game and I've played around with it a bit by other kids, cooler kids who had Game Boys, but back in the day. But I'd never actually seen this footage, not the glitch footage or the game itself. So
okay. Well, so I have a programming background, and I kind of like these kind of glitches, not because they're particularly fun to speedrun or to watch a speedrun of, so sorry for you folks, but they're kind of, on a tactical level, they're kind of interesting, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this, and I came up with this completely arbitrary category, which is basically catch the top 10 Pokemon as fast as you can with Pokemon Red. Even though Pokemon Blue would probably be faster, but I never owned Blue. I like Red, so I did Red. And I got these from some random website, which should be in the description of this video if I ever upload it.
So, do you mean that the glitches we're going to see are completely from the website, or the ideas from the website, or?
No. Okay, so let me explain this better. The glitches itself are kind of known glitches within the Pokemon speedrun community. The top 10 Pokemon I kind of choose for this category, that I just googled top 10 Pokemon and got to some random website which showed me 10 Pokemon. So that's how these 10 Pokemon were chosen. Well, the run itself will take just over 33 minutes. I actually had a new personal best in this run because I made some route changes. So if you, for whatever reason, show earlier videos of this on my channel, which I hope you didn't, then this run should be better at least. So. Yeah, I don't know if you have any more questions before we start.
Just the general setup of what we're going to do. We're going to supply a commentary for this, and we're just going to explain the glitches on a more programming level, I guess.
Somewhat, but also I kind of will just commenting on what I'm doing while running, and I also will, whenever we have some time to do some more in-depth explanation, especially during the actual catching of the 10 Pokemon, which will be one continuous block.
Yeah.
I can kind of explain, because that's one of the more difficult glitches, but it's very interesting. It's the main reason I did this category. The other stuff is just basically to get to that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go.
Ooh.
Okay, so the run has started. Basically, when I press new game, I started a timer. What you see on the left is basically my life split, well, window, I guess, which kind of allows me to make splits during the run at certain important points, and then I can kind of keep track on whether I'm gaining time or losing it. By the way, you saw me giving two people names. Myself first, which was just called A. Now that's not really interesting. It's just a short name that allows me to quickly skip past it. But my rival's name is actually AA, which will be important because we will be using the rival name once we set up a couple of glitches to actually gain access to certain items. We will need for the main glitch, which is called LG Fly.
Oh wow!
Coincidentally,
okay. Yeah.
So for the first, I guess, 5 minutes, not much is going to happen. I mean, I will describe some stuff in the rival fight that's coming up, but mainly we're just trying to get past all the introduction stuff to get on the real run. But there are a couple of main points that interest.
Incidentally, I did watch Pokémon the anime when I was a kid, but it's been some time ago. So if I get the name of the Pokémon wrong, Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, I mean, so here we chose a starter Pokemon. We choose Bulbasaur because for a reverse glitch, we actually need a Pokemon with. So Pokemon has each Pokemon has stats, and the way the stats are gained, there's some kind of randomness in there. It's called IVs, and basically every Pokemon when you get it for the first time, it calculates an IV, and basically the IVs mean how quickly a stat grows. So a stat is just a number, so each Pokemon has 5 stats, and the special stat is what we're interested in. But we need a special stat of 16 once we execute our first glitch. We choose Bulbasaur because it's the Pokemon that the quickest gets to the 16 special stat. But once this fight is over, you will see Bulbasaur actually leveling up to level 6. And it will either have a special stat of 13 or 14. I think in this run it was 14. But that kind of depends on how quickly the special stat is going to increase every time you level, which is based on the IVs.
Yeah. And IVs are something that you can see in the game, or is just
no? It's a hidden stat.
It's a hidden stat,
but you can see it by leveling up and seeing the differences and how quickly certain stats grows.
Yeah. So as you kind of explained just before we went into this, you have to get these specific stats right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just start over.
Yeah, basically, so we need a 16 special stat for our first glitch, and the issue is because of the IVs, there is a chance that you skip over 16, you go from 15 to 17, which basically means the run is gone, because there is an alternative strat which is based on move PP. So for those who don't know, every move, like basically moves are basic types of attacks. Every move has certain power points, which basically allows you to use a move X number of times before, you can't use it anymore before going to a Pokemon Center. And there's an alternative start using that, but, well, that's just taking too much time for this run. And because it's only a run like for half an hour or something, it's not really useful to use that. So instead, we're opting for the what's called the Pidgey strat, which uses the combination of a Pidgey with either 16 or 15 HP, together with a random Pokemon with 16 special stats. Because basically what we're doing is we're setting up a jump factor together with the Pidgey, because that's the Pokemon ID we use, and together those two bytes basically form a jump factor we will be using later.
Oh, that's great.
So this is just again the intro. I kind of skipped over the point where we watched the special stat change after the initial fight, because I was kind of explaining other things. But this is just the introduction. So we're going back now with Professor Oak's parcel, which ultimately gives us the Pokédex, after which we can start catching Pokemon and the real run starts.
Right. Because all of the fights we've seen so far are kind of just coincidental, like you would have in a game, and not really consequential to the speedrun.
No. So basically, what you see in the splits on the left is the Weedle fight is very important. That's a fight with one trainer, which only has a Weedle, and after that we grow again, and basically either we grow to level 7 or we grow to level 8, depending on whether before that we fought a wild encounter. Yeah. Or we just ran from all the wild encounters. Okay. And that kind of we choose whether or not we fight a wild encounter based on our initial special stat. Whether if it's 13, we fight one wild encounter of a level 3 Pokemon, which gives us enough experience to when we fight a Weedle grow to level 8. And otherwise we don't do that, and we only grow to level 7, which gives us the 16 special stats.
Okay. And this is all because we want to get that combination of 2 bytes. Basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's all about bytes. Pokemon Glitch is all about bytes and memory location, that kind of stuff. So we're now actually on the real run. This is the first time we actually buy some Pokeballs because we need to catch this Pidgey I was talking about. But we'll also buy 2 random other items. We're not buying the antidote because we can pick up an antidote somewhere later along this line. But we're buying 2 random items because for the, I guess, second glitch, we need to have 6 items in our inventory.
Okay.
So we need to fill it up. So as you can see, initially in the initial fight with my rival, we had the Charmander. We used a potion that we picked up from the PC before that, and because of that, we need to grab this potion we just did, which was hidden at the tree. Just so we need to make sure that we have potions when we need to use them, and also we need to keep 1 potion again because we need 6 items.
Yeah. Okay. And it has to be a potion.
Well, not necessarily, but we kind of making sure
we
that
just
it's the easiest way to pick up stuff. So. Also, this is the Viridian Forest, for those who don't know the game, which has a lot of grass areas. However, the makers of this game actually forgot in 2 specific tiles to program them in as encounter-generating tiles. So you see us taking kind of a special route through this forest, making sure we hit as much of these tiles that don't give us random encounters. And then here we're actually we're going to find another potion just before this trainer. I don't know why I didn't pick it up before, and then we're going to fight it. So this is the guy with the Weedle, and after this we're going
he always has a Weedle.
Yeah. All the trainers in this game always kind of have the same Pokemon. It's not that part is not generated randomly.
Okay.
Only the wild encounters are not entirely random, but randomly what kind of level you get and which of the possibilities you get.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can get all Pokemon in each grass tile. It's specific for a certain route.
Okay.
So here we're just going to fight this Weedle, which will take quite some time because he's level 9 and we are only level 6. But still, because Weedle is not really great Pokemon, we can kind of defeat it. And we have 1 potion in case we need it, because we just picked that one up. So we keep trying to have 1 always in our inventory and then 1 kind of in case we need it the next time.
Oh, right. That's why I very specifically chose to have the potion. Yeah.
So what you will see after this, you will see me looking quickly at my stats, because at this point it needs to be 16 for our next glitch, which will be coming up quite quickly after this. It's called the Brock Skip. It's basically a combination of 2 glitches. One is actually skipping defeating the Brock, which is a gym leader, which you kind of need to do to continue on your journey. And the second one is called Brock Through Walls, which is kind of using the same guy that otherwise won't let you pass if you didn't fight Brock, but coming from him from the wrong end because you skipped him before. Kind of, but first we need to catch a Pidgey. Like I said, there's a Pidgey strat which uses the level the 16 special stat together with the Pokemon ID of a Pidgey to set up the jump factor. And we specifically need a level 3 because we need either 15 or 16 HP. Now, this time we were actually lucky because we immediately got the level 3, which is, there's quite a high chance to get the level 3. If we don't immediately get the level 3, we actually use a strategy called D-sum. Okay, let me first see. So we're now going to do the Brock Skip, and you see me here pre-selecting the save button in the menu, and that's because when we try to save, basically we make use of a 1 frame moment where our start menu isn't disabled. Well, it actually should be. So that guy said you can't continue from here. You need to fight Brock first, and at that point we quickly pressed the start menu and saved our game. At that point our arrow keys are already disabled, so we can't change the item in the menu, but we can quickly save. And then when we boot up the game again, we're at a position the game doesn't expect us to be, and you see the guy walking around a bit, but we can just pass from here because our arrow keys are no longer disabled.
Can you go back at this point?
But you will hit the guy again. But instead, we talk to him, and he kind of doesn't get where we're standing. So at this point, we can walk through walls because the check that's otherwise made to if we can walk through walls is not there because the game expects us to just follow the guy because our arrow key should be disabled.
All right.
And you see the guy itself coming a couple of times or walking past us because the game doesn't really get what's going on at this point.
Yeah.
Now, there's one problem here because we have a level or a 16 HP Pidgey instead of a 15 HP Pidgey. That means we can't actually talk to the lady at the Pokemon Center in Saffron City, which is where we're going, because we want to make it our main hub for the rest of the run. So we're just walking through that now.
And the reason why you want the main hub is because there are several jump-off points from that.
Well, yeah, basically everything is around that place. It's otherwise a place you can't get to until very late in the game because there are these guard houses around Saffron City that only allow you to get there after you, did a lot. But because we are actually in Saffron City, whenever we try to leave it, the guy will say, you can't pass here, but then still let us pass because we're going the wrong way around.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
But because I can't actually talk to the or press the start menu or anything here because we had a level 16 Pidgey or a 16 HP Pidgey instead of a 15 HP, which causes the code to go through a slightly different routine. That's why I save my game here by logging into the computer and changing boxes, which because of the limited memory and all kind of stuff, the game requires us to save the game there, and then I boot up, after which everything is fine again. Right. I somehow, at this point, I was kind of confused because normally I'm not having a level 16 Pidgey because typically you have level. I keep saying level, but I mean 15 HP. So after saving, I actually walked to the counter and I kind of realized, wait, I'm not supposed to do this. So that's, in case you were kind of confused, that was what was going on there. Anyway, so the next step is actually, we're going to use, so this is the guardhouse I was talking about. We come from the wrong end, so she says, you can't pass here, and then we just pass us anyway. And we can use all kinds of stuff like teleportation and escape ropes and whatever to get back to our last healed Pokemon Center, so that's how we get back in.
And the teleportation is basically because... Why? Exactly.
So one of the Pokemon, the one we are actually going to get next, is called Abra, which has a move called Teleport because it's a psychic Pokemon, which allows us to, as kind of a bonus in-world move, to teleport to the last Poké Center we healed.
Oh, wow.
So that's just something that's in the game, but we make use of it by having the last healed Poké Center in Saffron. That's how we get back there every time.
Oh, that's why you use that as a base.
Now, catching Abra, because it only has one move, Teleport, which basically makes the Pokemon run away, it's very hard. So instead we're going to buy it. And we're going to buy it by playing the casino. Only we're not actually playing it. We're just going to walk through all the places where somehow there are coins on the floor, which is what we're doing now. And then we somehow just end up with enough coins to get this Abra.
And that's just the basic random generate that you just found some coins.
No, these are always here. So within the game, there are a lot of hidden items on the floor. By the way, you see me do a lot of walking. That's kind of, why are you doing that? Because I actually had some issues with my controller when I was playing this game.
Okay.
So at some point you see me kind of do these odd moves, which is just me having issues with my controller. But anyway, so I just bought the Abra for exactly 180 coins. And now I'm going to teleport back to my last Poké Center. We're going to use this teleport mechanism to actually use a glitch called Trainer Fly.
Yeah.
No, it's called Fly because typically you use it with the Fly move, which allows you to fly to any place in the game.
Yeah.
But because we not yet have Fly, we're using Teleport, which basically does the same. And again, it's basically a one-frame trick where the game was supposed to have the start menu disabled, but it hasn't because it hasn't loaded the trainer. So basically, you walk up to a trainer, but the trainer is just out of reach of the screen.
Yeah.
So you take one step towards the trainer, which loads the next section of the map. But the trainer isn't there until the next frame because the game isn't fast enough to load. And we're doing it here, and we're pressing start just as the trainer pops up, and we teleport back. And at this point, the start menu disappears, and the trainer tries to walk to us, but we're teleporting away instead.
Yeah.
So the game now knows we're having an encounter pending on that route.
Yeah.
It also knows we have an encounter pending in general, and someone is walking up towards us, and we're going to use that to fight someone else. Which is and that will basically put some random data at some place based on, if I'm correct, the last special stat of the last fought Pokemon, and convert that into the ID of the Pokemon, and will generate a wild encounter when you get back to the route where the trainer fight is pending.
Okay.
So now we're going to fight a random dude here. We make sure we take the strange route. You will see this again because we're doing this twice, so you can see it the next time again. We're basically walking around some obstacle to make sure we're not immediately in front of the trainer, because the game still has someone is walking towards you.
Yeah.
So if you go immediately before it, it recognizes that you're in a fight, but because the train doesn't have to walk to you, you get into this endless loop where the game is someone is walking towards you. Well, actually, no one is walking towards you.
Oh, okay.
And you're basically free. So here we go back to the route where we had the pending, and here we get one of the most famous Pokemon of this game called Missing No, which basically stands for missing number. So the game has, of course, I'm not sure. I think it has something like 230, 240 Pokemons in a table, but it only has like 151 actual Pokemon. All the other stuff is just garbage, including a couple of missing no entries, which means just we never programmed this in. You shouldn't be able to encounter this.
But we don't want it to crash just in case you would. Yeah.
And the nice thing of this missing no is it adds 282 items of your 6 item into your inventory. So this allows us to duplicate our item, and we're doing this twice. And you saw me, just before I walked to the trainer for the second time now. You did see me throw away 2 of that items, of those items. Now you can imagine. So I had one of them. I got 128 of them after that, which gave me 129. I threw away 2, so I get 127, and I'm going to get 128 again, which gives me exactly 255 of that item, which has a special meaning in Pokemon, because the cancel button actually has an amount of 255 of itself to indicate it's the cancel button at the end of the item list.
Okay.
So this game actually has 2 ways of storing how many items you have in your inventory.
Yeah.
It has one counter that just counts the amount of items, and it has the basically the end terminating item, which is the cancel button.
Yeah.
And because it keeps track of this in 2 ways, you will see I have here some kind of block 5 of one item, and I'm starting throwing away items.
Yeah.
And the game keeps decreasing the amount of items I have in its counter, but it thinks that my first item is the cancel button, so it doesn't actually decrease the amount of items I have.
Oh, right.
And now I'm doing something, and I don't know why it's in the game, but you can actually merge item stacks. So what I did just now was I'm adding adding 255 to whatever I had before, to 2 and to 1, and that gives me
how are you adding that?
So by I'm merging those item stacks. So you saw I duplicated here. By the way, I'm throwing 1 away from my options byte. So basically here I have underflow because things are going very fast. So basically here I'm able to access random memory locations in the game, and one of the memory locations is the block 2 amount, so the J item block 2, and it was block 3, and that's actually the speed of my text. So if you notice now, my text is now instant instead of that it took time to print it, which speeds up from here. And I'm just switching around items. So right now I put some item in my X coordinate, and then I walked a bit to mutate the item into another item, which I'm going to need for my glitch. I'm going to do that after this again.
Yeah, and the reason why you were switching up items so that you could easily get to them.
Yeah, I need to mutate a couple of them. I need to switch some locations because some of these items, like I said, were in the name of my rifle, which is actually accessible through this menu. So that was the either times 0 and the random glitch item above that. I will notice that. I would say it when we go back through there again. Right now, I'm throwing away all these J items because I don't know if you noticed, but the J items take actually quite a while to print on the screen. And I'm throwing them all away without actually showing them, making use of the same glitch again, where I have one item that I have 255 times. And by throwing away, I basically duplicate that item upwards. So I now have 1,000,000 ethers times block 5. And you see here, when I scroll past these J items, it takes an insane time to actually go past them, or at least like a second or something, which is very slow.
Oh, right. I just noticed that. Yeah.
And I have a million of these ethers times block 5, which is 255. So I basically duplicated these ethers to replace the item I had before. Now I'm mutating another item. So we get the 8-8 we mutated first, and now I'm mutating. I can't remember what I'm mutating here. You will see it like now. Oh yeah, 9F. And 9F is an item that allows us. It basically causes us to jump back to our. So here I actually walked one tile to the right too much, which caused me to end up in a location I didn't want to, which made me needed to use teleport to get back to a normal map. Because basically walked outside what should be the map, and therefore I couldn't pass through this guardhouse, which was because I did wrong movement there. So the 8-8 item allows us to basically start a trainer fly encounter that we set up previously from the menu, which is one thing we do, and then the 9F allows us to it basically jumps back into the map rendering code, and it basically, because we have during the LG fly, which is coming up pretty soon now, which is the main glitch, it allows us to therefore, because we have a trainer fly setup which pops automatically the start menu up whenever you saw that before with the missing nose, that's basically instead of the trainer talking to you, it pops up the start menu. Mm-hmm. So by using the 9F, we basically get access to our in-world menu from within a battle.
Right.
So here I'm setting up the last and the final trainer fly, which is we're going to use for LG fly soon. And now I'm actually walking towards a different trainer than before, because I no longer want the missing no. But I happen to find a trainer that actually causes the trainer fly, the first trainer fly to turn into a wild encounter with a Blastoise, which happens to be one of the Pokemon we need to catch. So I'm kind of using that as kind of a speedy way.
And you need to catch the Blastoise because a specific number, or
No, the Blastoise is one of the 10 Pokemon we are going to catch.
Okay, right.
So I'm battling this trainer with a Meowth, and the Meowth has a special stat that results in our next encounter to be with a Blastoise. Now during the initial, it was happening quite a lot, so I couldn't explain everything. But during the initial underflow, where we basically got access to all this stuff in our inventory, I picked up some Master Balls from somewhere below. Master Ball happens to be item ID 1, so you see it quite often because a lot of flags and stuff use it. And we're going to use these Master Balls to catch all these Pokemon. And what I'm doing now, these Ultra Balls, the first one actually is the start of the rifle name. So what I'm doing here is I'm changing the amount. So basically these are just bytes, right? Ultra Bytes is the first byte, and the 94 is, or the 94 is the second byte, and another byte is Ultra Balls, and so it goes on. And this is basically the name of our rifle, and it happens to be the 4848 item we picked up before from somewhere down there. They happen to be in the map data in this area, and we need it. That is actually printing the rifle name as part of its item name.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another quick glitch. This is called the Jacklage, but it works with a couple of names, John, Ash, and whatnot, and it allows us to basically move through walls by using it. It just happens to be that item. And now we're setting up. We're switching to a different map from here. We'll still have the trainer fly active because we just entered that by going through here, but. We're switching to a different map because this map happens to have a tile in it that causes our start menu to pop up during map rendering. And that's something we need to use to make sure we don't get out of this trainer fly phase. So normally you have one trainer fly. So this is the first Pokemon we're going to catch, the Blastoise, and we just throw a Master Ball at it and it's done. But then when we go out of this, during the map rendering, it's... I'm not sure if it pops up the start menu, but it triggers the trainer fly that's active. Without actually going out of it. So we get, again, our start menu pops up automatically. Yeah. And we use the 8-8 to get into the trainer fly again, but without making sure that the trainer fly is no longer active.
Okay.
And now this is the actual LG Fly glitch. So what we do here is I will explain it in the next round because it happens a little fast. But this is our Charizard.
I could see that.
So that's our second Pokemon. Now Ditto, the nice thing of Ditto is that whenever the game doesn't recognize the Pokemon you're fighting with, it thinks it's a Ditto because Ditto can transform into other Pokemon.
Oh, right.
It's actually an edge case we're using here. So this is just a glitch Pokemon. It isn't actually a Nidoran, but because the game can't figure out what Pokemon it is,
it does show something.
Yeah, and Ditto happens to be one of the top 10 Pokemon, luckily.
Oh.
So we made use of that as well. Okay, so now I'm doing the 8-8 to start the trainer fly without needing to close my start menu, so the trainer fly is still active. Then I'm from there use the 9F to get in my in-world menu, and I reload the map by going to my trainer card and back, because that takes a lot of stuff to render the trainer card, which requires a full re-rendering of the map after that. Then I make some modifications in my trainer name or my rival name, and I will go again from here next round because I just catched another Pokemon. But basically the 4848, you will see that below it has this rocket, and the rocket is the part we use with it's basically the ID of that is the 94. We use in the item amount of the Ultra Balls.
Okay.
So basically we're just rendering a name on screen, but the way the game works is that certain predefined strings actually have their own ID. So it's a single character length, but it prints like a string of characters.
Okay, so here actually for what I understand is that you're using that the game uses a few predefined variables to generate random code, semi-random code, and you just use the name change of your rival to trigger some other code, basically.
Not entirely. So I'm going to explain it next round again. But basically, the item ID contains one item or one ID that or one character. Basically, a special character makes it render or put the name of my rival there instead. And then the rival name again contains a couple of special characters that make it render the predefined text rocket from Team Rocket in
okay,
there.
yeah.
And that kind of makes this item very long. And the main part is when you see the item, you see it goes row after row after row. And one of these rows, especially the second character following the second rocket, that happens to be saved to a place on the map that's very important. You'll see the item name, it goes out of the list entirely, right? It goes to here. I'm pointing at the screen right now, but you see this H on the screen at the left of that's basically still there from rendering the item name before.
Yeah.
And you will see the strange block below it. You will see it again next time. Here you see the strange block below it, and then right off there you see another tile. And that tile gets saved whenever we execute the second or use the second 9F. Whenever we use 9F, the game displays the start menu. And when it displays the start menu, it makes a backup of the current screen into a screen buffer.
Right.
When we then use or we don't actually use it, but when we flash, what we call flash, we press A on the item and then press B to get out of it again. We don't actually use it. The 4848 item, it basically copies a giant amount of data from one place in the game to another, including that one byte that was saved into the screen buffer, and it copies it on top of the ID of the Pokemon we're currently fighting.
Right.
And that's how we transmute the Pokemon we're fighting into the
Pokemon that you actually want.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow.
But because we were in a battle, we kind of escaped it by going to the start menu and rendering the map and whatnot. The game doesn't actually really understand whether we're now in the overworld or still in a battle. You'll kind of hear that in the music and stuff. And that's kind of why we need to start a second, like what we do here. We start a second trainer fly. And we get this strange glitch Pokemon with insane HP, and it also has all the stats ailments it can have. And we just run from it, because that's kind of how we clean up the state.
All right.
And then we start the 8-8 again to get into the next.
Yeah, so
Trainer
you
Flight
just continue that way. Just a question for me. What you're going for a Gyarados next?
Yeah.
How do you get that Gyarados specifically?
Right. So basically, what we do is this is the rifle name, and we basically the 9494 are the rocket, and then after that is the item, and then the number of items that corresponds to those two places in when it prints the item name, and the item name gets drawn onto the screen.
Yeah.
And then when we open, you will see, we have a couple of tries left. So I'm going to try to live explain the next one. So this is just basically the cleanup fight where we run away from.
Yeah, so then we get a new state and then we
now we
enter the state.
we do the random encounter. We initialize or get the random encounter by using the 8-8. Now from here we go to items and we use 9F. That brings the overworld menu. We go to our trainer card, flash it, and go back. That renders the map. We then make the change in our rifle name by changing the amount of items by dropping items until we hit the right amount. Then we go back up and make sure that the 4-8 gets rendered on the screen. We do 9F again, which saves the screen buffer to a different place. Then we flash the 4-8 to get the big copying going on.
Yeah.
And then we throw a Master Ball, which after the Pokemon ID has changed.
For just be clear, that you change the Pokemon by changing the amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we make use of the fact that we can.
Yeah, but just the top 10 Pokemon are literally just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, that would have been very easy. I could do that as well, but I thought I'd give myself some kind of a challenge by getting the list of Pokemon from some random place. So I can
that was the list you mentioned previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, by the way, I think the last Pokemon. So we do the whole thing one last time. Again, we're throwing away one now, so 20 is our last Pokemon ID we want, which is an Arcanine. So again, we go, we make sure 4848 is on the screen. We do 9F, which copies the screen, and then we flash 4848, which basically transmutes the Pokemon, and then we catch it with the Master Ball. And at this point, we save the game, which is kind of what I decided is kind of the point where we, stop the run. So when the game is saved. Here, that's the end of the run. I've got 33 minutes. But however, when we save the game, the start menu automatically closes, and basically it initializes or brings up the last encounter of the trainer fly sequence we have been going through, because it hasn't still been cleared. But however, the next Pokemon encounter is unless you do the whole special stuff where we transmute it, is based on the special of the last encountered Pokemon. However, there are some reserved IDs based for trainer battles, and that was something silly you just saw now.
So that's why you saw the trainer.
So that's some more insight. And here I'm just basically showing, look, I actually caught them. I shown my party, and I shown my Pokedex, which printed out I own 13 Pokemons now. So that's basically the entire run, 33 minutes. And it's completely arbitrary, random. I don't think anyone else is going to do this at any point ever. But I kind of liked it to showcase this algae fly glitch.
It's basically just a showcase for several glitches that you use to make your own little game about it.
Yeah,
pretty
basically,
much. Yeah.
I really like the algae fly glitch. I mean, it's not exactly fun to watch. It helps. We kind of try to explain it while happening right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, so most of this stuff is actually, I would almost say stolen, but it's inspired by the old Catch 'em All route, which is an official speedrun category where you catch all the 151 Pokemon in the first gen. And part of that was the I guess 2 algae fly sections where you can't do algae fly endlessly because the 9F actually pushes up your stack pointer an X amount of bytes. So at some point,
that's what you did earlier. You restarted because there was just you're running out of memory, basically.
Well, no, I haven't done it, but if I was to try to do it one more time, because I'm getting the Blastoise without using the algae fly glitch, I'm actually just having enough options here or just enough times I can do it before it starts corrupting random data.
Right.
There is some workaround. You can, I think, do it. if you use the 9F, I think it's for 6 or 7 times out of battle in between. I think you have 3 more chances to use it because you basically skip past a set of data that's only used in battle.
Yeah. So yeah,
but it gets pretty dangerous after that.
Yeah, it just reaches the end of the stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't reach the edge of the stack, but you get into memory that's actually used. For stuff.
So yeah.
But yeah, so. But I like because it's so intricate, right? Everything just about fits with the LG5 glitch.
That was a pretty.
I like it, and like I said, it's inspired by the official, the old Catch 'em All, because they before they actually banned LG Fly and the other one, which is computer based. I can't remember it right now, because they actually made the category boring to watch, because it's a very easy way to catch a lot of Pokemon. It's not always the quickest way, but for some stuff, it's definitely the quickest way. And just watching like 30 minutes of
the same thing, basically,
changing some stuff in your menu and throwing a Master Ball is not exactly amazing to watch. So they basically banned those two. There is like a non-official category still where it's being used, but nobody runs it anymore. But I really like the glitch just from a technical standpoint, because it's it's kind of incredible that people actually found this. And
well, that's one thing. But basically, when they found it, because this, like you said, this is only possible on a computer, really.
I mean, this is just how the game works, right? So if you play this on a Game Boy, it's
going to do the same thing.
It's going to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
However, I mean, the knowledge that was required for this is just by disassembly assembling the game and kind of seeing where all the symbols are. And
that's what you meant earlier by that it was a computer thing.
Well,
that they didn't really know before they just disassembled the stuff.
Well, what I meant by that is there are actually 2 of these glitches which are kind of similar. One is LG Fly, where you use a pending trainer fly to generate a random encounter, and then basically chain them together by not actually cleaning up the trainer fly pending flag, so to speak. And there's another one where you basically, I think you overflow one of the names of the boxes in the computer, and then by going through the menus, you somehow influence some bit of memory which generates a random encounter. I don't actually know the everything about that glitch, but it's basically the same idea. You have some way to generate a random encounter, and then you can have the ability to mutate it into the Pokemon you want.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Well, that was very entertaining. Very, very, very informative as well, let's say.
Well, I hope some of you guys actually enjoy this, and maybe I get even a viewer on YouTube. That would be cool.
That would be nice. You get one, you know. You kind of made sure by inviting me that
exactly.
I'm going to watch this.
At least one viewer, yay. And I hope you guys liked it. I'm not sure actually if I'm ever going to make another YouTube video. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But at least I have this, and whoever sees this, I hope you enjoyed it. And well, maybe see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.